Hello, my name is Ava, and I'm an architect. Today I'll show how you can start with Sculpt to create automatically professional drawings from your 3D models. In the Sculpt toolbar, you find two icons. The first one is to start or stop Sculpt. The second one is the Sculpt Pattern Designer. Let's start Sculpt by clicking on the Sculpt icon. To the top of the Sculpt dialog box you find an icon bar. Here you can turn on or off section planes, add or delete section planes, force to update your Sculpt section, and define the drawing scale. To the right you can expand the dialog box to show the Sculpt styles. And you have the Sculpt menu. Let's show the SketchUp section planes which are already in the model. You can create new Sculpt sections, or you can convert existing SketchUp section planes to Sculpt sections. You convert an existing section plane by right-clicking on the section plane to get the context menu. In the context menu select the option, Create Sculpt from Section Plane. You now get the option to give the Sculpt section a name, and to create a scene for this section. Because there is already a scene for this section in the model, we choose not to create a scene. Now we will also create a new section from scratch. To create a new Sculpt section you can click on the Add icon of the Sculpt dialog box, or you can use the SketchUp section plane tool. For now we use the Add icon. We create a vertical section through the building. We name this section AA, and we create a scene for this section. You can change the position of a section plane. Select the section plane, and use the Move tool to move the section plane to the middle of the stairs. The Sculpt section will automatically follow the position of the section plane. All created Sculpt sections can be found in the Sculpt Active Section Plane list box. We can switch between the different sections just by selecting the section from the list box. If we now select the Level 0 scene, you see that the Level 0 section isn't attached to this scene. Select the section Level 0 and use the function Save Settings to Scene from the Sculpt menu. Now the Sculpt section plane is saved to the scene. If we now switch between the scenes, you see that also the active Sculpt section plane will switch. Sculpt automatically creates a layer for each Sculpt section plane and each Sculpt scene. You don't need to turn on or off these layers. Sculpt will automatically manage these Sculpt layers. If you turn on or off one of these layers, Sculpt will automatically set them back to the correct position. If you want to turn off a section, you need to set the active section plane in the Sculpt dialog box to No Active Section Plane, or turn the red and green slider to red. Now, let's take a closer look at a Sculpt section. Each object, that is, your model, a group, or a component, can have different fill patterns. Sculpt processes and cuts each object as a separate context. It will look for closed regions in each section result, and fill them. As you can see, these filled regions are now shown with the default Sculpt pattern. Let's expand the Sculpt dialog box, so we can see the active Sculpt style. To the right of the Home icon, you can define the default hatch and the default layer for the Sculpt section. If we click on the hatch material, you get a list of all available materials. Above the line are the Sculpt materials, below the line are all the SketchUp materials in your model. At this moment no Sculpt materials are in your model. Let us create a new Sculpt material we can use. Click on the Pattern Designer icon to start the Pattern Designer. Sculpt materials are based on AutoCAD pattern files. If you click in the Material field, you'll see a list of available pattern files. When you select a pattern, you see a preview of this pattern. You can define the different properties of the material if you like. Let's change the background color by clicking on the color icon next to the fill color option. We choose red. We can also change the line color and the line width. Let's also change the name of the scalp material we will create. To create the material, we need to click on the update icon inside the preview window. The scalp material is now created. Now we click on the default hatch material of the scalp style again and select our new created scalp material. The section will update automatically with the new selected default material. Let us edit some properties of this default scalp material. Go back to the Scalp Pattern Designer. We now change the size of the spacing. The given size is the actual print size, with respect to the drawing scale, as defined in the Scalp dialog box. Update the material by clicking on the update icon. The section will automatically update to the new settings. Instead of creating all our scalp materials ourselves, we can download some predefined scalp materials libraries from the SketchUp 3D warehouse. Open the 3D warehouse and type Scalp into the search field. Now you see the scalp demo model and some scalp material libraries. Download one of the libraries into your model. When the component is on your cursor, you can press Escape. The scalp materials are now in your model and ready to use. Choose the arch concrete material which we just downloaded. Let us now go back to the Pattern Designer, so I can show you that it is very easy to change and duplicate this predefined scalp materials. We duplicate this material by changing the name. We now change the fill color to gray and create the material by clicking the update icon. This new material is now available in the Scalp dialog box. Until now we have only used the default scalp material setting. Now I will show you the different ways to define the section materials in Scalp. Click on the icon in the front of the second line of the Scalp style. Now you see the three basic ways of defining materials in Scalp. By object, the material is directly attached to the object. By layer, the section material is attached to the layer, and every object which is placed on this layer will be sectioned with this material. The third method is the by texture method. The object will be sectioned with the same material as the one which is defined in SketchUp to the outside of the object. There are also some other functions to create more advanced scalp styles. We start by showing the pattern by object method. You need to define the section material on each object separate. You can select an object the normal SketchUp way, or you can click on the section fill. When you have selected one or more objects, the look of the Scalp dialog box will change. The attached section materials and the attached tags are now shown in the dialog box and can be changed. We select the arch concrete material, and you will see the hatch of the selected object is now changed. All other objects still have the default material. Let's do this again with another material for another object. Before I show you another method, let us create a new scene. The scene automatically gets a name based on the name of the section. You can change this name if you like. Now we go back to our scalp styles. You can click on the settings icon in the Scalp Style dialog box to delete or change the order of the style rules. We now delete the Pattern by Object rule. everything switches back to the selected default material. Click on the Add Style Rule icon to create a new scalp rule. Select the Pattern by Layer option. You can click on the By Layer link to define the section materials for each layer. We define the section material for one of the layers. In the model, you'll see the section result changing for objects placed on the respective layers. We define a second layer, and the section updates. You can close the Define Pattern by Layer dialog box. Again, we make a new scene. Now I show you the third method, Pattern by Texture. The sectioned objects will now fill with the exact same materials as painted onto the objects themselves in SketchUp. If I now switch between the three scenes of the same section plane, you'll see that the same section have a different look in each scene. Thank you for watching Scalp. For more information, visit us as www.skalp4sketchup.com.